Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to see the difference between dense array and sparse array in JavaScript, one of the commonly asked interview question. In this channel, every day I'll be posting videos related to full stack development, cloud technologies, and interview challenges. If you like this type of content, please do subscribe and support me to grow this channel. Now, to understand array in JavaScript is an object that will represent a sequence of items. The item in array will have exact index using which we can access them and modify them. Also, array will have a property called length using which we can identify the number of elements in an array. We'll try to declare a array in JavaScript. One, two, three, four. Okay. So we'll try to console log them. Okay. So this array is an object that is representing a sequence of element, and I'll put console log the items in an array and the property length of an array. Okay. I'll save them and I'll try to run them. The problem, it says console is not defined. Okay, console.log. Yeah, console.log. Yeah, you can see we are able to access the entire array using this variable, and it has a property called length. You can see 1 2 3 4 elements are there. So using this length property, we are able to identify the number of elements in an array, and each element in an array can be accessed using its index position. Most of us know that index will start from 0. This is the zeroth index, this is the zeroth index, and this is the first index, and it will go and so on. This will be the third one, 0 1 2 3. If you wanted to access particular element, we'll go by index. For example, if I try to access first element in an array, then I will put array of 0, then I'll be getting, so you can see this is the first element and second one is the length of element. This is the array. So this is the general usage of array in JavaScript, and this is also called as dense array. So the dense array is nothing but array in which the number of valid item inside an array is equal to the length property of an array. That is nothing but a dense array. So in this case, you can see the number of items in an array is 1 2 3 4, and the length property is also 4. So both of them are equal. So it is called as dense array. There is no gap between items in an array, so that is why it is called dense array. The number of items and the length will match because there is no gap. So this is what called dense array. Now, what is sparse array? Sparse array is an array in which all of its index position will not have a value, meaning it will have a gap between their elements. For example, in our array, if not all the index position is having value, if it is like this, you can see 0th index is having value and the third index is having value. 1 and 2 is not having value. If you try to console log this, you can see 1 and 2 empty items, 4. So there is a gap between the items in an array, right? So this is what called sparse array. But you can see, though we have only two valid elements or valid values in an array, the length property is still 4. Now, if you try to match the previous statement, the length property is not matching the number of valid elements in an array. So it is not matching. So it may not be dense array, right? So that is why it is called as sparse array. So the sparse array is nothing but an array in which the item will not be filled in all of its index position. There will be a gap between the item of an array. So this is what sparse array. Now we'll try to understand what are all the ways to create this sparse array. So using this way, when we create an array, we can initialize with this trailing comma. So this will create a sparse array. And other ways to create is using array constructor. Like for example, if I do var b equal to new of array, and we can specify size. If I give 10 and I did not put any value, if I try to put console log, all of this item will be invalid only, but all the index position will be created. You can see all 10 items are empty, but you can see the length property is 10. So this is one way to create a sparse array. Another way is you by assigning index. For example, you can see, let's revert back to the old one. You can see like this, our array is like this, a. Okay, I'll rename it here, and here also I'll rename it to a. Okay, now if you see, the items is 4 and the length is also 4. Now if I try to modify this array, For example, I'm trying to put index value for index position 10. Okay, if I'm trying to put this, then I'm trying to access index position of 10 from this array, but which is not having that index. So what it will do, it will alter the existing array to accommodate that. You can see what we are getting. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, and it included 6 empty item. Then it is the 10th index position, because it will index will start from 0, and because of it 11th element will be 10th index position, right? So in its 10th index position it put 100, and the number, the length of an array is become 11 now. So this is another way to create sparse array. And the other way is like we can explicitly change the length property. For example, if I try to change like this, if I try to put like this, then this will also create first four values will be valid, then it will create five more empty elements in an array, then it will make the changes of the length property of an array. You can see the length property of an array is become 9. If I do console log of an entire array, see, first for other it created 5 empty elements. So this is another way to create sparse array. And the other way is to use delete keyword. We can do delete which item we wanted to delete. Maybe I wanted to delete item of one. Using index I can delete. Okay, now what it will have, it will just make the item as invalid. That's it. You can see it just removed that element from that position, but the that element's position is still vacant. It is not filled or it is not removed. The array will not be readjusted to accommodate the space. The items will not be moved, right? So the position will be still empty. The first position of an array will have undefined value only. If I try to access one, it will stay, it will say undefined, but you can see the length is 4. You can see it is undefined and the length is 4. So this is another way to create a sparse array. Now we'll move back to our manual sparse array like this. The most of the built-in method of JavaScript for an array, like for a for each, for example, if you do for each and a, and inside that if you try to console log console dot log a, I will just rename, that is to avoid confusion. You can see though there is a length property of an array is 4, there is 4 indexes available in this array, but this built-in for each method will not consider this invalid position. It will just loop through only valid position. If you see, we cannot expect this loop to run 4 times. You can see it will just print 2 times. Okay, you can see. Okay, if I comment this length property, you can see the array, the for each method ran only on valid values. It did not run this undefined position, right? So most of the built-in method on this array will run against only valid value. Even if it is a sparse array, it will run only on valid value. It will just ignore the invalid values. So this is one of the property that we need to remind. And the other way is other one thing is how to convert this sparse array to dense array. For example, this array is containing some invalid position inside that, right? How will I convert into a normal dense array without this gap? That we can do using maybe b equal to, I'll assign it in another way, variable object dot values. If you put a, because this object dot value is a built-in method which will return only valid values. Now if you try to do console log of b dot length, and b itself will get only valid values, meaning it will create a dense array out of the sparse array. You can see 1 and 4 only is there, the position is only the length property is only 2. That is all I have for this video. Thank you for watching.